Okay. Good stuff. Can we...
They blocked the passage. Maybe I can try.
Leave it to me.
One sec. Just give me a minute here, Kira. Pick up some sulfur, mostly. And, you know, there's definitely a lot of rotting flesh we're getting as well, which is, of course, not really of any value to us. But I'm mostly just trying to pick this stuff up as quickly as possible. Hold on. I see that. Oh, just Dwarven Spirit. Hold on, there's more, though. I was expecting you to be hiding some good stuff in here, since I was expecting most people to probably speed on through. I suppose it's still, you know, a little bit of water, a little bit of alcohol is useful.
Thanks for your help. Pretty tough slog.
Yeah.
Good thing I came with you.
Yeah, imagine if we tried to do this without her. Would have been tough.
Yeah, never.
Oh
He
dear.
awaits us.
What is that? Is that one of the Wild Hunt members, or is that the elf dude? We're probably about to find out. I think that's Wild Hunt. Or are they one and the same? Because that might also be the case. Definitely Wild Hunt. Hello, friend. How's it going? Nice to meet you.
You're stubborn one.
Thanks.
I shall help you.
Step back.
Stop telling me what to do.
Okay.
I wonder how long you last.
1 second here. I'm thinking Quen's probably a good way to go. I'm imagining he probably hits pretty hard. And is it just the three of us, or are there any other members of the Wild Hunt that are also doing things? I mean, if we keep them far away, theoretically we could just have, you know, a Kira. We need to pepper him from afar. Attacks. I don't see a life bar on Kira this time around, so she might actually be okay. I don't know if he'll actually attack her at all. Oh, whoa! Teleported?
He's opening a passage.
Huh?
Stay calm.
Oh, okay. Now these guys are coming out. Okay. Not too big of a deal. Oh, you are not dead yet. Really? Hold on. Get you both down here, ideally. Now you're gonna come back. I know how this works. You were all worried about keeping that portal open for your friends. Now they're gone. Now it's just us. Get rid of our Gwen? I don't think we did. No, we should still have it. So yeah, Kira, I don't know how much damage she's actually doing. I think she's doing way more damage than she did. But theoretically, we could just have her pepper Nithral here from afar. Does have some blocking capability. Seems like if we can follow up soon after Kira's attacks, then that is the way to deal the most damage.
Another rift.
Alright. No big deal. We can take these guys on. I was kind of waiting for multiple to come out and blast them all. I think and that would have been the opportunity to do that. Hold up. There we go. Now, I think our real friend is back. Oh no, not quite. Not quite. Now you should be, though. Hey, buddy, old pal. How you been? Did I ever compliment you about your axe? It's very impressive. Say, do you mind maybe lending it to us sometime? I don't know, just, I do quite like it. And I do feel as though maybe it'd be best if we took it off your hands for you. It is rather large and perhaps a little too heavy for you to handle here. Wouldn't want you to pull something.
Are you well and whole? I'm here.
Oh dear.
Necessarily. Let's look around.
If I've my nick, help me have a message for Cyril.
What'd you say? No, you got cut off. If I have my knickers something. Crystallized essence. Potion of... or potion from whatever that place is. Diamond dust. Diagram. Wild Hunt's warrior sword. I'm curious if that's any good. We are now encumbered. Take a look at what that sword was for sure. I think that's the most tangible things we picked up there. Where is it though? Wild Hunt warrior sword. It is more powerful than our current sword. That may be just because, well, it does have a little more durability than our current sword, but not much. Our current sword does have some Axii sign intensity. I think that may be something that we put on there with runes. Oh no. No, our steel sword doesn't have any runes. Okay, so, I mean, that is still... There are some other benefits to using our existing sword other than just the damage, which is a little bit lower than the one that we have here. Like, if we prefer having that Axii sign intensity, then maybe that is still worthwhile to hold on to the existing one, but I think in all likelihood we'll end up switching here. Critical hit damage bonus. Yeah, and critical hit damage bonus, which would have been another aspect of our existing sword that might have been better than others on this occasion. Well, what we just picked up has even better stuff. Critical hit chance. It is definitely much better on our existing sword, so that might have been reason enough to get the crits and have a little bit of extra damage, but have the crits going off fairly often, whereas crits may be more powerful here, but they're not going to be going as often. Armor piercing, though, that's also helpful too, so I think that is definitely still an upgrade, and we will need to drop some stuff, though. We picked up our fair share of boots here, some of which I think are kind of just junk, many of which appear to be junk. So let's drop those then. That'll bring us under the threshold. We're good there. And let's also try looting some other stuff here, which granted might bring us back over the threshold, but we'll take it one step at a time here. Product flash, of course, is helping. I don't remember if that actually has weight to it or not. It might not. Thought I saw... Yeah. I thought I saw that there was a chest at one point in one of the cutscenes that you could see behind one of the characters. Ooh, that looks like a good diagram. Insectoid oil as well. If we didn't have that yet, then it's going to be very helpful. Now, let's take a look at that chest plate we just saw that may be very good. Only one way to know for certain. And slightly higher armor. Probably in this case because it has more durability remaining. However, hard sign intensity is nice to have. It's not something we have in our current armor. Resistance is largely the same, except a little less resistance to slashing damage. Debatable. Debatable. I think it mostly comes down to, would you rather have the hard sign intensity or the adrenaline point gain? I suppose we can swap. Although we should probably hang on to this one, because if we do repair this, then it'd probably be a little bit better. And also, however, this does have a significantly better aesthetic to it. The other chest plate looked horrendous, so in that way, definitely better. We will still need to actually get rid of something, though. And don't think I didn't notice that there was a way through here. But let me drop 4. We had more junk boots. These were not as junky. Got pants, maybe? These are actually slightly better than our current pants. I think they're almost exactly the same. They are exactly the same, only one better from an armor standpoint. So let's get rid of these old ones, and maybe these old ones too. That gets us right at 90 out of 90. Gloves, maybe give ourselves a little more wiggle room. We can dump some of those. These are all looking pretty bad. Yeah. Let's dump across the board. And then check out what is going on over here. This is a larger area than I was expecting. I don't know what that sign means. I thought we saw this once before. Looks like you can reanimate this or something like that. I don't think we know how to do that yet. Like, do you explode it? How would that supposed to mean? That may or may not have been the correct type of explosive. If that actually did anything. So I don't think we can do anything there yet. I don't think we can. Let's just do another quick check for any other chests in this general area, because I'm not necessarily sure we saw the chest that I originally saw when we were speaking to those people in the cutscene. Might that still be hiding somewhere? Is this one? Have we gone this? We've not. And this? Oh yeah, always. Don't mind if I do. Already looted our friend over here. Let's hop up now and check out what this guy has to say to us.
Alright, let's watch this message.
CIRILLA, this place is no longer safe. Do not tarry here long. Trust no one. And above all, beware the witches of Crookback Bog.
Huh?
Try to reach the place where last we were together.
So
Where
cryptic.
last we were together, not much to go on.
Well, it's another swallow.
Damn it.
Perhaps it's
But
best
no
you
Ciri.
didn't leave a clearer message. The Wild Hunt broke in here. Surely they saw the projection.
They searched everything, and if they had more time, they'd probably have torn the place to the ground. But that doesn't change the fact that we haven't learned anything. Not about the elf, not about Ciri.
Well,
We learned a
we
little
know they
bit.
were well acquainted and traveling together.
Wonder why they split up.
Perhaps because the Wild Hunt was on the elf's trail, and Ciri would be safer if they did.
Suppose? Maybe? We still don't really know enough about this elf to say anything
The
definitively.
witches of Crookback Swamp.
Yeah,
Crookback
who
Bog.
are... Huh? Who/where is that?
Kira, if you're hiding something,
But I didn't say.
Yara? Why didn't you mention those witches?
why didn't you say anything earlier? I told you Ciri had a run-in with a witch.
Well, I had no idea you meant then. If I'd told you something, you would have rushed off to find them. But we needed first to confirm that Ciri was here, didn't we?
Debatable. Probably could have
I shall
cut to
tell
the
you
chase a bit.
everything now, of course.
Now, after I safely led you through the cave,
I can't believe you'd think so poorly of me. Perhaps you do bear a grudge against sorceresses.
can't imagine where that comes from. You know these witches?
These
I've never
particular
met
witches, do
them,
you
but
know
I've
them?
read of them. In an old manuscript I found in one of the huts in the village. It mentions the village witches venturing into Crookback Bog at times to liaise between the villagers and the crones, the ladies of the wood. The
Okay.
crones appear to be intolerant of outsiders, but they help the local folk. Apparently, they stopped the spread of the plague in Vellum.
Oh. Maybe they're not
What's
so
your
bad.
take on this?
I'd love to shrug it off as the nattering of so many old women, yet throughout my first fortnight in Vellum, I had horrible nightmares. Something was calling me out into the swamps. One night, I decided to enter the dream consciously, render it lucid. I confronted the thing directly. It broke contact at once. Peaceful nights ever since.
So, what does that mean, though? How is that relevant?
How do I find them?
Saying that was the
The swamps
crones
are
that were
vast,
doing that?
Dangerous. But they say the crones mark the way for peasants who wish to visit them. The manuscript mentions a chapel in Crookback Bog, And from that chapel, one must follow a trail of treats.
Oh, that's pleasant.
Treats.
Of course. They didn't read you bedtime stories at Kaer Morhen.
I'm afraid
All
not.
normal folk know that witches live in gingerbread houses poised atop chicken legs.
I'll have to see that to believe it.
Take the tome and read it. I truly do believe you'll find your Cirilla. All right then.
Thank you.
As a start, let's look for a way out of here.
Good idea.
Now that we've kind of sort of made it through here, does your teleportation magic work all of a sudden? Okay, and we do have a lot more information. I also know that we add some stuff here that we did not get the chance to see after the White Frost. Spring ash down dreamy hills. I suppose dreary and dreamy are arguably complete opposites. Past sparkling waters, CIRILLA drifts. That was where we saw the potion before. That was like the potion from CIRILLA, even though we hadn't heard of that place before. Slowly, softly, silently, into oblivion. Sage lips blacken, frosted bones quiver. Before an ice-bound eye can blink, in distant skies I will watch your descent. Okay. And this is the Ladies of the Wood that we just got from Kira. Gods have abandoned us. The mighty of this earth care not for our fate. Only the Ladies of the Wood watch over Velen. Foul times, when plague and famine reap their harvest, we must beg the ladies for help. If they see fit, they will hear our pleas and knock back fortune's foul blows. This is how one begs help from the ladies. Find a child, young and innocent, and take it to Crookback Bog. Okay, so we may very well need to do this ourselves. We may need to find a child, young, innocent, take it to Crookback Bog. We don't yet know where that is. I'm assuming we may find that on our quest log, if we try to track that. Seek out the lady's shrine. 'Tis where the trail of treats, not tears, begins. Man, so many opposites. Set the child off on the trail, and it shall follow the sweet track and find the good ladies. The child will never want for anything again, for the ladies are kind and generous. Stand before their shrine, pronounce your supplication, and the good ladies will hear. They see and hear all that takes place in their demesnes. I actually don't know what that word is. If you made the offering as it must be done, your plea shall be heard. Okay. Okay. We did also get some kind of entry about Ciri. Let's read that. Characters. I don't think we've done much of this, if at all. Cirilla. Cirilla Fiona Ellen Rhiannon. What can I possibly say about her? We call her Ciri for short. She was born in 1251, and she has ashen hair and a scar on her cheek. All true, and that's the Cirilla I know best. But the one I first laid eyes upon, those many years ago. One who seemed thoroughly, well, not ordinary, but certainly not as extraordinary as she in fact is. For Cirilla is also a highly skilled witcher, heiress to several thrones, the last bearer of the Elder Blood. What? What? Did we know that? I did not remember that, if we did. A powerful source endowed with exceptional magic talent, and the Lady of Time and Space. What? Her hair color and date of birth seem rather incidental now, don't they? I could also tell you she is Geralt's adopted daughter. I did not know that. I mean, understudy, yes, we saw that, but adopted daughter, I did not know. That would be a gross simplification. Ciri is much more. She's his destiny. Whoa, that is a strong way to describe that. His unexpected child. Someone bound to the Witcher by fate's most inextricably tangled fetters. Following age-old Witcher tradition, Geralt took Ciri to Kaer Morhen, where she came into his care. So, Geralt knew Ciri before she became a Witcher and went to Kaer Morhen? I was kind of assuming it was the other way around, and then they sort of grew a bond between one another when they were, when Geralt was teaching her all those things about being a Witcher, and then things kind of took off from there, and he sort of adopted her, but it seems like this is saying that they knew each other beforehand. Following the told tradition, Geralt took her to Kaer Morhen. There, he and Vesemir taught her in the ways of the professional monster slayer. It was then that her magic talents were first revealed, and they discovered she was a source, so they didn't know that she had this exceptional ability beforehand. Ciri's gift proved a curse as well. Because of it, she would one day have to hide from the entire world, even Geralt. Ciri's biography contained one more great secret. Her natural father was none other than the Emperor of Nilfgaard, Emir van Emrys. His words confirmed the fears swirling in Geralt's mind. Ciri had returned and was in mortal danger. The unrelenting Wild Hunt was on her trail. Yennefer made it clear why the Wild Hunt wanted Ciri. Mirrodin wanted the power latent in her elder blood. Also let Geralt know that Ciri had been in war-ravaged Velen as well as Novigrad, the largest city in the world. It seemed that during Ciri's time in Velen, she got into a quarrel with some sort of witch or witches in the swamps. Okay. Now I'm probably not gonna read about everyone here, because I feel like we'd be in story time for quite some time if we were to do that. Ciri, bit of an exception here, because she's obviously the person that we are trying to track down. Unless you guys feel like, there's so many important pieces of information that we would miss if we were to not read those entries, but I'm assuming that they are perhaps a little bit interesting, and we can go back to them later if you guys say that they are truthfully worth going through, but in the interest of keeping us going here, let's see what else we have. The Berserkers do not constitute a separate clan in terms of blood or lineage. They are instead a family forged by warriors who have heard the call of the bear and answered it by abandoning their loved ones and joining the community of mountain dwellers. Not every man who seeks to join it is accepted into their brotherhood. Candidates must first pass difficult trials, which usually end in their death. The last trial is the hardest. It is called the Trial of the Bear's Triumph. The few outside of the Brotherhood have ever witnessed it, and none know what those who undergo it must endure. Quite curiously, the inhabitants of Skellige themselves know very little about the Berserkers, or Bildkarls, as they call themselves. They do not like to talk about these man-bears, not with outsiders, and not even amongst themselves. Huh. Okay. Botchlings? Hysteria? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They aren't beasts. They appear to be cursed ones. Berserkers? And it sounds like they're in Skellige, so we've not yet been there. But it's on the list of places we will ultimately go. Now finish your soup, or a berserker will come and swallow you whole. Skellige mother scolding a child. Skellige legends speak of men known as berserkers, who transform into bears when overwhelmed by battle rage. In doing so, they lose all self-awareness. Wait, they start as humans and they transform into bears, and this is not like a one-time thing. This is like, oh, I'm particularly mad, so I'll turn into a bear right about now, and then once I settle down a bit, then I'll go back to being a human. Kind of like a werewolf? I don't know. In doing so, they lose all self-awareness and are driven by a bloodlust, which they must satiate in order to return to human form. Yeah, apparently. If you believe these blood-curdling tales, however, not even in Skellige, where the inhabitants usually treat even the least probable legends with the utmost gravity. This indicates either that berserkers are, in fact, mere figments of missodden imaginations, or else they've learned to hide their abilities from the rest of the islanders. Uh-oh. The fact that they are in our bestiary and that there are lists of things that are effective against them suggests that, well, they're probably real. The Skald's ballads indicate a berserker transformed in the heat of battle cannot be distinguished from a true-born bear. Only minute anatomical details, such as the shape of their tongues and teeth, reveal their secret. Descriptions of their fighting prowess paint them as invulnerable to pain and able to heal any wound received almost at once. Uh-oh. Extreme healing abilities? Sounds like they're going to be quite difficult to take down. If these men-turned-bears truly do exist, one can suppose that, like werewolves and lycanthropes, they are particularly vulnerable to oils that harm cursed creatures. But if we are to give credence to the ancient songs about these creatures' deeds, about the mass murderers and massacres they have committed, We can only hope that no Witcher will have to test this hypothesis. Hell, something tells me we're going to be doing that sometime in the future. And oh dear, what is this? A botchling. Tasty. Can't say it's a lie, but it doesn't exactly convey the whole truth either. Huh? Botchlings? What does that have to do with botchlings? Botchlings are perhaps the most repulsive creatures a Witcher will ever have the displeasure of meeting. Born of dead, unwanted babies, discarded without a proper burial, their appearance is that of a partially decayed fetus. Lovely. Their unformed flesh twisted with hate, fear, and malice. These hideous creatures feed on the blood of pregnant women, driven by a mad hunger that most often leads to their victim's death. That is disgusting. A botchling will emerge from its lair at night to lurk by the bedside of an expectant mother, draining her strength and that of her unborn progeny as she sleeps. Goodness. A woman thus beleaguered first suffers from troubling dreams, then fever, delirium, and a general weakening of the flesh. After a few such nights, she is enfeebled and unable to defend herself. It is then that the botchling attacks directly, sinking its long, sharp fangs into her body and drinking her blood until mother and fetus perish together. It's horrendous. Who thought of this? A botchling stands around 1.5 feet in height, but when threatened and gorged with blood, it can change form. What? At such times it grows into a deformed man, hunched over and striding ape-like on its forearms. Stronger and fiercer after this alteration, hurls itself into direct physical combat, gnashing at its opponent or attacking him with sharp claws. Botchling's curse can be lifted by transforming it into a lubricant, the guardian spirit of the hearth, that watches over the family it never knew in the house and never call home. What the heck? Okay. Let's never speak of those guys ever again and hope we never happen to encounter them, but something tells me, again, based on how they are in our bestiary, we're not going to be that fortunate. So. Ooh. More notes down here.
If he burned these notes himself, the hunt wouldn't have bothered.
Meaning he knew they were looking for him.
Okay. Sure. Knew the wild hunt was coming for him. That's, I suppose, to be expected, given how he was taking all these precautions.
The potion I gave him. Seems he saw a use for it. Drank it.
Kind of potion? Care to explain? Elder Blood? We know a bit about this from... It's really... The Witcher 1 is where we saw most of this stuff explained and experienced some of it indirectly through Alvin mostly, who... I'm not sure if we've seen him since then. Or heard of him, really. What exactly is the Elder Blood? According to some, it is a powerful elven curse passed from generation to generation. Those in whose veins this infinite hen ichor flows are said to carry death and destruction within them, to sow hatred and disdain in the hearts of men. It was from this contaminated blood that Itlin prophesied an avenger would be born, a destroyer of nations and worlds. Others claim the Elder Blood is an extremely rare inherited talent, granting control over time and space to a degree unattained even to elven sages. Sadly, few bearers of this gift have ever been able to control it in full. This merely partial mastery inevitably leads to sudden outbursts of the power that take the form of unpredictable, uncontrollable, and thus extremely dangerous explosions. Behind the dark legends about the curse of the Elder Blood lies the truth of these tragic cases. For obvious reason, the bearers of the Elder Blood are always subjects of great interest to the world's mighty and mages alike. The former counted on the truth of Ithlin's prophecy, on an avenger being born who could destroy worlds, and who they could thus use for their purposes. As for the latter, they hoped to harness the magic of the hen ichor, broaden their own knowledge and powers. Ultimately, however, all these plans were for naught. The Elder Blood line broke off with the disappearance of their heiress, the Nilfgaardian crown, CIRILLA Fiona Ellen Rhiannon. And also she is a witcher, so theoretically she is incapable of having children, so even if she is alive and well and we find her, theoretically she would be the last in the line no matter what. Introduction to applied magic? Eh? Magic is the science of harnessing, subduing, and making use of the power of the elements. It is also an incarnation of chaos, which is why no one without proper training should ever dabble in any of its domains. Expert mages make of magic an art. The road to virtuosity leads through years of practice, study, and hard work, and requires a considerable amount of inborn talent. Magic was implanted in our world through the conjunction of the spheres, and was discovered to be a living, changeable, and controllable being shortly thereafter. The name of the first mage, the one who first discovered this talent within himself and grappled with its power, is unknown. We do know, however, that in a relatively short period of time after the discovery of magic groups began to form in which talented beings could work together on developing their abilities. This period is usually considered the beginning of magic as a science, and these groups, prototypes of magic schools. The fundamental planes from which one might draw magic power are earth, water, air, and fire. In the tome, which you currently hold, each of these will have a separate chapter dedicated to it, ordered accordingly to the level of difficulty and danger associated with the element discussed. Okay, apparently we will not be reading those other chapters, however. That is a door that it seems we are trying to find a way through. Ooh. No idea what that diagram is. Short concoction? Oh. I'm guessing those items there are going to be what allows us to get through here, just making sure we aren't missing any other loot. I don't think so, so let's take them.
Mysterious mage herbalist.
Odd.
Well,
Okay, maybe not though, because like, not sure there's anything else other than just this door.
Strange. My medallion's trembling, but there's nothing here. What's with this wall?
It's not a
it's an
wall.
illusion. I sensed it as well. I expected we might run into such things, so I brought this.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning
What is that?
what?
The Eye of Nehalani. It dispels illusions. It's easy enough to build, so you're welcome to this one. It's bound to come in handy. And each time it does, you will think of me.
Thanks.
Okay. Uncovering illusions. When you notice a shimmer in the air, walk toward it. When you're close, press A to dispel the illusion. Huh? We had other illusions in the past?
Simple, isn't it?
Let's see where the passage leads.
Have there been other places that we've been locked off to because we did not have the ability yet to remove those illusions? Probably.